There's a
Hey, if
muscle
you're
in your thigh
enjoying this
right
kind
now
of
that is
content from
smaller than
Dr.
it
Baylor
was 6
Scott,
months ago.
just tap
You didn't
subscribe.
feel it
It
happen.
helps more than
You
you'd
won't
think.
feel it tomorrow either.
You know that
But by the
feeling
end
when
of
you
this
first
month,
open
your
your eyes
legs
in the
will know.
morning and for
And
just
the
a
part
second or
that's going
two
to
you're
frustrate
not
you,
quite
I
sure
mean
what day it
genuinely
is or
frustrate
what
you,
you're supposed to do
is what's
next?
causing it.
That
Because it's
pause.
not
Most
inactivity.
people over
It's not
65 have
age.
started to
It's
dread
not
that
what you
moment
think.
because
It's
somewhere in that
breakfast.
pause, the body
Something you're
starts
eating in the
sending
morning,
signals.
probably tomorrow
Stiffness,
morning, probably without
heaviness, a
thinking
kind
twice
of
about it, is
thickness
telling
in
your
the
muscles
joints
to
that
shut
wasn't
down,
there 20
not
years
slow
ago.
down.
And the
Shut down.
mind does this
There's a
thing where it
difference, and it
decides before you
matters.
even sit up that
I had a
today's
patient
going
sit
to
in my
feel
office 8 months ago.
exactly like
Strong
yesterday.
woman, walked
Hey,
2
if
miles
you're
a day,
enjoying this
took her
kind of
vitamins,
content
did
from Dr.
everything she
Baylor
was supposed
Scott,
to do.
just tap
And her
subscribe.
legs were
It
failing
helps
her,
more than you'd think.
slowly, steadily,
You know that
in a
feeling
way
when
that
you first
terrified
open
her
your eyes in the
because she couldn't
morning and
explain
for
it.
just a second or two
I
you're
looked at her
not
food
quite
diary,
sure
and
what
I found
day
it
it
in the
is or
first
what you're
line:
supposed to do next?
breakfast.
That
What she was
pause.
eating before 8
Most
a.m.
people over
was
65
undoing
have started to
everything her body
dread that
tried to
moment
repair
because
overnight.
somewhere in
Every
that
night her
pause,
muscles would
the body
attempt to
starts
rebuild.
sending
Every
signals.
morning she'd erase it.
Stiffness,
For years.
heaviness, a kind of
When I showed her what to
thickness in the
replace it with,
joints that
one
wasn't there
food,
20
not a
years ago.
plan, not a
And the
system,
mind does
one
this thing
food,
where it
she didn't
decides
believe
before you
me.
even sit
She
up
actually
that
laughed
today's going
because
to
it was
feel
too simple,
exactly
because it was
like
already in
yesterday.
her refrigerator.
Hey, if you're
She's not
enjoying this
laughing
kind of
anymore.
content
She's
from Dr.
carrying her
Baylor
groceries up
Scott,
a flight of
just
stairs
tap
without
subscribe.
stopping.
It helps more than you'd
But
think.
here's the thing I need you to
You know
understand.
that feeling
It's
when you
not just
first
about what
open
this
your
food
eyes in the
contains.
morning and for
Plenty of
just a
foods
second or
contain
two you're
protein.
not
Plenty of
quite
foods have
sure what
vitamins.
day it is
What
or
makes
what
this
you're
different
supposed to
is
do
what happens
next?
in your muscles during a
That
very
pause.
specific window
Most
after
people
you
over
wake up.
65 have
There's a
started to dread
biological
that
switch,
moment
a
because
real
somewhere
measurable
in
signal
that pause,
that your
the
muscles are
body
waiting
starts
for
sending
every single morning.
signals.
Most people never
Stiffness,
flip it.
heaviness,
Some people
a
flip
kind
it and
of
then immediately undo it
thickness
with the
in the
wrong
joints
combination.
that wasn't
And a
there
small
20
number
years
of
ago.
people, the
And the
ones whose
mind
bodies
does this
actually start
thing where it
responding again,
decides
the
before
ones
you
who
even
feel the
sit up
difference in their
that
legs within
today's
weeks,
going to
they
feel
flip it the right way,
exactly
at
like
the right
yesterday.
time, with the
Hey,
right thing
if you're
alongside it.
enjoying this kind of
That's what
content
this is
from
really
Dr.
about.
Baylor
Not a
Scott,
superfood,
just tap
not a trick.
subscribe.
A
It helps
signal your
more than
body
you'd
has been
think.
waiting for that you've
You know
accidentally
that
been
feeling
blocking.
when you first open
And
your
once
eyes
I
in the
explain how it
morning
works,
and
you
for
won't be
just a
able to
second
eat
or
breakfast
two
the
you're
same way
not
again.
quite
That's
sure
not a
what
promise
day
for
it
effect.
is or what
That's
you're
just what
supposed to do
happens when you
next?
finally see it.
That pause.
So let me show you what's
Most
actually
people
going
over
on inside
65
your
have
body
started
at
to
6 in the
dread
morning.
that moment because
You close your
somewhere
eyes at
in that
night and you
pause,
think your
the
body
body
shuts down
starts
with you.
sending
It doesn't,
signals.
not even close.
Stiffness,
The moment you fall
heaviness,
asleep,
a
your
kind
muscles
of
start doing something they
thickness
can't
in
do
the
while you're
joints
awake.
that
They
wasn't
start
there
repairing.
20 years ago.
Every micro tear from
And
the
the
day,
mind does
every
this
bit of
thing
strain
where
from
it
walking,
decides before
lifting,
you even
climbing,
sit up
even just
that
standing for
today's
long
going to
periods.
feel
Your body sends repair
exactly
signals
like
to your muscle
yesterday.
fibers and says,
Hey, if
okay,
you're
let's fix
enjoying
what
this
today
kind of
broke.
content from Dr.
And for a
Baylor
while, it
Scott,
works.
just
The
tap
first few hours of
subscribe.
sleep,
It
your
helps
muscles are
more than
actively
you'd think.
rebuilding, patching
You
themselves,
know that
trying to
feeling
come
when
back a
you
little
first
stronger than
open
they
your
were
eyes in the
yesterday.
morning
But
and
here's
for
where
just
things
a
go
second or
wrong.
two you're
That
not
repair
quite
process
sure
burns through
what
raw
day it
materials
is or
fast.
what you're supposed
By
to do
3,
next?
4 in the morning,
That
your body is
pause.
running low on the building
Most
blocks it
people
needs
over
to finish the
65
job,
have started
the
to
amino
dread
acids,
that
the
moment
specific
because
proteins your muscle
somewhere
fibers
in
need to
that
complete their
pause, the
reconstruction.
body starts
And your
sending
body doesn't just
signals.
pause and wait patiently for
Stiffness,
breakfast. It doesn't work that
heaviness,
way.
a kind of
When the building blocks run out,
thickness in
your
the
body starts
joints
looking
that
for them
wasn't
somewhere
there
else.
20 years
And the
ago.
closest source of amino
And the
acids it
mind
can
does
find
this thing
is your
where
own
it
muscle tissue.
decides before you
So your
even
body
sit up
starts
that
dismantling muscle
today's
to repair
going to
muscle,
feel
robbing from one wall to
exactly
patch
like
another.
yesterday.
And by the time you wake up, you've actually lost ground. Your
Hey,
muscles
if
tried to
you're
rebuild,
enjoying this
ran out of
kind of
material,
content
and
from
started
Dr. Baylor
cannibalizing
Scott,
themselves just to get through
just
the
tap
night.
subscribe.
Now,
It
this
helps
happens to
more than you'd
everyone at
think.
every age. But
You
here's
know
why it's
that
different after
feeling when you
60.
first
When you were
open your eyes
35 or
in the
40, your
morning
body
and
was
for
incredibly
just a
efficient
second
at
or
this
two
process.
you're
It
not
could do more
quite
with
sure
less.
what
The
day
repair
it
signals were
is or
strong,
what
the
you're
rebuilding
supposed
was
to do
fast.
next?
Even if breakfast
That
was later and
pause.
complete, your body could
Most people
compensate.
over 65
After
have
60,
started
that
to
efficiency
dread
drops
that moment
significantly.
because
Your
somewhere
repair
in
signals
that
get
pause,
weaker. Your
the
body
body
becomes
starts
slower at
sending
processing protein.
signals.
And this is the part
Stiffness,
that catches people off guard. hard. You actually need more protein to trigger the same rebuilding response that used to happen automatically. Not a little more, meaningfully more. So your muscles wake up every morning in a state of quiet emergency. They're depleted, they've been partially dismantled, and they're sending out a signal, almost like a distress call, asking for very specific materials to start putting themselves back together. That signal goes out every single morning, and what you eat in the next 30 to 45 minutes determines whether your body hears a response or silence.
This is where most people over 60 are getting it wrong. And I don't say that to make anyone feel bad. I say it because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Think about what a typical morning looks like. You wake up, maybe you're not that hungry, maybe you have some toast, a bowl of cereal, oatmeal with some skim milk. maybe just coffee for the first hour or two. And all of those feel like reasonable choices. They're not indulgent, they're not junk food. Some of them are even things your doctor recommended. But here's what none of those choices do. None of them flip the switch. Your muscles are sitting there, waiting for a specific amino acid signal that says start rebuilding. And toast doesn't send that signal. Cereal doesn't. Oatmeal alone doesn't. Coffee definitely doesn't. In fact, coffee on an empty stomach does something I'll come back to in a moment because it's worse than you'd think. The signal your muscles need comes from complete protein. Protein that contains all the essential amino acids in the right proportions. And there's one amino acid in particular, leucine, that acts as the master switch. Without enough leucine hitting your bloodstream in that morning window, the rebuilding signal simply doesn't fire. Your muscles stay in breakdown mode. The distress call goes unanswered. And another day passes where you lose a little more of what you can't easily get back. This is what was happening to my patient, the woman I mentioned earlier. 2 miles a day, vitamins, everything right except the first meal. Every morning she was eating whole grain toast with a little jam and a cup of tea. Perfectly sensible, completely wrong for what her muscles needed. And her body was paying for it in a way she could feel but couldn't explain. So, the food, it's eggs. And I know that doesn't sound like some revelation. You've eaten eggs before. You know what they are. You might even be thinking, that's it? That's what this whole thing is about? Yes, but not for the reasons you think. Let me explain what actually happens inside your body when you eat 2 eggs first thing in the morning, because it's not just about protein. If it were just about protein, a lot of things would work, and they don't, not like this. An egg contains every single essential amino acid your muscles need, every one, in almost the exact proportions your muscle fibers use them. Your body doesn't have to convert anything, doesn't have to break down a complex protein structure and hope it can extract what it needs. Eggs arrive ready, like a perfectly packed repair kit delivered directly to a construction site. Most protein sources aren't like this. Plant proteins are usually missing 1 or 2 critical amino acids. Processed meats have the amino acids but come wrapped in inflammatory compounds that actively damage muscle tissue. Dairy gets close but takes significantly longer to break down and deliver. Eggs hit your bloodstream fast. Within 15 to 20 minutes, the amino acids are circulating. And among those amino acids is leucine, the switch, in high enough concentration to actually trigger the muscle rebuilding response. 2 eggs, that's the threshold. That's what it takes to deliver enough leucine to flip the switch from breakdown to repair. But here's where eggs do something that almost no other breakfast food does, and this is the part most people don't know about. Eggs contain vitamin D, not a trivial amount, a meaningful amount. And vitamin D isn't just a bone vitamin, that's the old understanding. Vitamin D plays a direct, active role in how your muscles absorb and utilize protein. It's like a foreman on a construction site who makes sure the building materials actually get used instead of sitting in a pile. Most people over 60 are significantly low in vitamin D, and when you're low in vitamin D, you can eat protein all day long, and your muscles will only use a fraction of it. The raw materials show up, but nobody puts them to work. Eggs deliver the building materials and the foreman in the same bite. There's a third thing, and this is the one that made me start paying closer attention years ago. The yolk, which people spent decades being told to throw away, contains choline. Choline is essential for something called neuromuscular signaling. In plain language, it's what allows your brain to talk to your muscles, to tell them to contract, to fire, to grip, to hold you steady when you're walking on an uneven surface. After 60, that communication line gets noisier, less reliable, and choline is one of the nutrients that keeps it clean. Most seniors are deficient in it and don't know because it's not something doctors routinely check. So when you eat 2 whole eggs in the morning, yolks included, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're restoring the communication system between your brain and your muscles. You're delivering the raw materials they need to rebuild, you're providing the vitamin that makes sure those materials actually get used, and you're doing all of it inside the exact window when your body is most ready to receive it. That's not one benefit, that's a system, working together in one food at the right time. And that's why eggs aren't just a good breakfast option for people over 60. They're the option that matches what your body is biologically asking for every single morning. Now, I said I'd come back to the things that undo this, and I want to be careful here because I'm not trying to give you a list of things to be afraid of. I just want you to understand 2 habits that quietly erase the benefit of everything I just described. The first is starting your day with only carbohydrates: toast, cereal, a muffin, a banana, even oatmeal by itself. These aren't bad foods. I'm not demonizing them, but when they're the only thing you eat in the morning, your body gets a rush of glucose without any protein signal. Your blood sugar spikes. Your body releases insulin to manage that spike. And elevated insulin in the absence of protein actually suppresses your muscle's ability to begin repair. So not only are you failing to send the rebuild signal, you're actively sending a signal that says, don't rebuild right now.
Your muscles hear that, they stay in breakdown mode, and by the time you eat something with protein at lunch, you've lost the morning window entirely.
The second habit is coffee before food. I'm not telling you to give up coffee. I drink coffee. But when caffeine hits an empty stomach first thing in the morning, it triggers a cortisol response. Cortisol is your body's stress hormone, and in small amounts at the right time, it's fine. But a cortisol surge on an empty stomach tells your body that it's under stress, and the first thing your body does under stress is break down muscle tissue to convert it into quick energy. So you wake up, your muscles are already depleted from the night, they're waiting for repair signals, and instead of food, you send them a stress alarm. The breakdown accelerates, and even if you eat eggs an hour later, you've already pushed your muscles deeper into the hole they were trying to climb out of. Eat first, even just the eggs, even if it's just a few bites. Then have your coffee. That sequence matters more than people realize. Those two things. That's all I want you to change alongside adding the eggs. Just those two. Let me tell you how this actually looks on a real morning. Because I've learned that if something isn't simple, people won't do it. And if people won't do it, it doesn't matter how good the science is. You wake up, before the coffee, before anything else. You cook 2 eggs. Scrambled, fried, over easy, doesn't matter. Whatever you'll actually do consistently. If you want to cook them in a little butter or olive oil, that's not just fine, it's better. The fat helps your body absorb the vitamin D from the yolks more effectively. So the thing you were probably told to avoid, cooking eggs in real fat, is actually part of what makes them work. That's your foundation. 2 eggs with the yolks, cooked in a little fat, before coffee. If you want to make it more complete, and you have a few extra minutes, cut half an avocado alongside it. The potassium in avocado supports muscle contraction and recovery. The healthy fats extend the nutrient absorption window. And honestly, it just makes the plate more satisfying in a way that helps you stay consistent. Or add a small handful of walnuts or almonds on the side. The magnesium in nuts activates enzymes involved in muscle protein synthesis. It's a quiet, powerful addition that takes no extra preparation. But if all you do is the 2 eggs, just the 2 eggs, yolks in, before coffee, you're already doing more for your muscles than most people over 60 do all day. Don't overcomplicate it. Your muscles don't need a perfect meal plan. They need a consistent signal. The same signal repeated every morning, so your body starts to trust that the building materials will keep coming. That trust is what allows real repair to begin. Not occasional repair, sustained repair, the kind that compounds over weeks and months. I want to tell you what this feels like, not what it looks like on paper, not measurements or numbers, what it actually feels like in your body, because that's what matters to you. I know that. The first thing most people notice, and this usually happens within the first week or so, is that the mid-morning crash disappears. That fog that settles in around 10 or 11, that moment where your energy just drops and your body feels heavy, it gets quieter. Not because you have more energy exactly, but because your blood sugar isn't spiking and crashing the way it does after a carbohydrate-only breakfast. You feel steadier. That's the word people use most. After about 2 weeks, something else starts to shift. And this one is harder to describe because it's subtle. You get up from a chair, and there's slightly less negotiation involved. Your legs just go. Not dramatically stronger, just more willing, less resistant. You reach for something on a shelf, and your arm doesn't stall. You carry a bag from the car, and you're not thinking about where to set it down. These aren't milestones. They're absences. The absence of that friction you'd gotten so used to that you stopped noticing it was there. Around 3 to 4 weeks, some people start to feel something that surprises them. Confidence. Not emotional confidence, physical confidence. A sense that their body is going to do what they ask it to do. That it's not going to betray them on the stairs. That their grip isn't going to fail at an embarrassing moment. That feeling, that quiet physical trust, is what muscle recovery actually feels like from the inside. It's not dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It just slowly removes the doubt that had been accumulating for years. And it started with 2 eggs. I want to leave you with something. Not advice, just perspective. Your body is not failing you. I need you to hear that. Your body has been doing exactly what it's designed to do with the information it's been given. It's been waking up every morning, sending out that repair signal, waiting for the right materials, and making do with whatever showed up.
If the wrong thing showed up or nothing showed up, your body adapted. It broke down a little muscle here, a little there, just to keep functioning. Not because it's broken, because it's resourceful, because it's been keeping you alive with whatever you gave it. All you're doing now is giving it what it was asking for all along. 2 eggs in the morning before coffee, with the yolks. That's not a diet. That's not a program. That's just you finally answering a signal your body has been sending for years. And the beautiful thing about muscle, the thing that separates it from so many other parts of aging, is that it responds at any age. Your muscles at 63 or 71 or 78 are still capable of rebuilding, still capable of getting stronger, still waiting for that switch to be flipped. You just have to show up tomorrow morning and flip it. This is Dr. Baylor Scott. I don't say this often, but if this reached you at the right time, if something in here connected with what you've been feeling in your own body, I'm glad you stayed. If you'd like to hear from me again, subscribing is the simplest way to make sure you do. Take care of yourself. I mean that. And I'll talk to you soon.